You may know today's guest, Justin Reid, as a 2-time Super Bowl winning safety for the Kansas City Chiefs, but he is far more than a football player. Crime Stoppers first got connected with Justin when he helped a local Houston family after they experienced devastating victimization. Anthony Hip was shot on Christmas Eve in 2021, and not only did Justin partner with Dick's Sporting Goods to take Hip's son on a shopping spree, but he's also been an outspoken advocate for victims of crime in Houston for years. Justin has raised funds for domestic violence survivors and hurricane relief, and is the founder of a nonprofit called J. Reid Indeed, which focuses on supporting disadvantaged youth and communities through interactive programs, community engagement, and technology access. While we loved hearing all about both Super Bowl wins and a little behind the scenes on the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift romance that ensued this season, what we loved most was hearing about Justin's heart for strong and safe communities. This is The Balanced Voice.
I am so happy to be sitting with Justin Reid, 2-time Super Bowl champion, first team since my hometown team, New England Patriots.
Oh, you didn't tell me that before.
I know that. Well, that's why we didn't tell you. But I've been in Texas for 18 years.
Okay,
but I grew up in Patriots Nation. People wore Patriots attire to weddings. That's the Boston culture, right? Mm-hmm. But here you are, repeating the history. Okay, Justin Reid, what is that like? What is that like?
Man, it's there's few feelings in the world that really feel better than that. Especially this second time around, when you know that you have everyone's best shot, you have a target on your back, everyone's throwing whatever they can at you. We have people going for it on fourth down, fake punts, all types of tricks and things, and still to find a way to come out on top. And the only reason we're able to do that is because the Chiefs culture is the best thing about being a team, a true team, to where it's not about you give up self agendas, you know what I mean? And you just can be concerned about the team agenda and what can I do to help the next man so that we can all, perform the play as it needs to be performed. And, that type of mentality and culture, Coach Andy Reid put it together and guys buy into it, and we're able to have a pretty fun run right now.
So we were watching the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We were dying.
Yeah.
Did you trust? So you trusted the culture. You trusted the decisions. You trusted.
Absolutely, fully, no doubt, no pushback, nothing. We're gonna either be successful or we're gonna try and fail valiantly. But either way, it's we weren't biting over each other. We weren't nickering each other. We weren't throwing anybody under the bus. We weren't pointing fingers. If someone made a mistake earlier, we're still going to trust them to make the play the next time you had the chance to. You know what I mean? It was a true team, and we didn't lose faith in one another, and we knew that as long as we just kept believing and kept trying, we could make it happen.
We talk a lot about the magic of sports, and you look at fans, and we had Julia Morales on the podcast, and she talks about being on the sidelines, and you look at the fans and they're crying, they're fighting, they're just in this moment with you, and then you get to run out on the field, hold the trophies, do the victory parades. Are you pinching yourself? But you feel I feel like you've had such a calculated, strong upbringing that this isn't just chance for you.
Yeah.
You sort of played all the moves with exceptional talent and skill, and you are where you deserve to be, and you did what you needed to be did.
Well, the most positive thing that's been helpful for me and to help me also mentor young guys in the league in my room is, my mindset is you can take something positive out of any situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? I started off in Houston. We had a great first 2 years. My first 2 years here, the last 2 years weren't so great. But still, in all those experiences and situations, I took everything with me, and I took it to Kansas City and was like, hey, listen, this is what it looks like when things are going well. If we do these type of things, it's going to lead to us falling apart. I've lived it. You know what I mean? So even the quote unquote failures, you share that with others so that they don't have to go through it, and hopefully live vicariously through your experiences. And you can all just progress together, because even if you fail, the next time you try again, you're not starting down here. You're starting at this point. You know what I mean? So you start a little bit higher, and just having a positive mindset and an I can do it mindset really just helps.
Okay, so I researched you. I mean, we've had the pleasure of knowing you for some time, and Houston loves you, and Kansas City loves you, and everybody loves you. And I've spent some time researching you as we prepared for this, and I really think you're a philosopher. Okay, you're obviously brilliant, Stanford grad, engineering, but as watching like interviews that your coaches made and saying, you know, the Justin Reid on the field is the Justin Reid at home, is the Justin Reid wherever he goes. And then I'd listen to your interviews and
So like Coach Shaw quote.
Yeah, that's right. And then like your press conference, right when you were signed on with the Kansas City Chiefs, there were 9 rookies. And you said, you know, our goal is to be aggressive on the defense and have explosive plays. But then when we meet you in the community, you're like a big teddy bear. Is that okay? I mean, you're just like a kind, easy person. So there's almost like there's 2 Justins. There's like the aggressive, we're going to give it all we have on the field, but then this really sort of soft, kind person in the community. But I start to think, you're a philosopher. You talk about having a humble mentality. These are quotes from you. The importance of having a humble mentality. Team first, team second, team always. You talk about if you consistently put yourself, I love this, if you consistently put yourself in the right place by having good techniques, you don't worry about the rest. You talk about team culture. The best players are great leaders. And then my absolute favorite, keep emotions under control. You said, I don't play the game before the game is played. I was like, I need that for my everyday life. Like literally, that was amazing.
They didn't be able to bottle that up and sell it in the store.
We're gonna have to talk to Tamara about that after because we got to do something with that. Where did that come from?
You know what? A lot of it was through my parents, my mom and my dad, and laying a strong foundation. And you know, a couple quotes that my dad always told me, and I've just always lived by it and built off of it. But it was like, one of the ones was, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing 110%. Because you are your resume. You don't want to put anything like you're half trying out there, because that's who you are. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do it at all, put your best foot forward doing it. And then some of the other ones along the line, he would say, I kind of mixed 2 of them together there. But anyway.
Yeah, it's that your family dynamics.
Yeah, and you know, Hurricane Katrina came. I'm from Louisiana, and when that happened, other storms, like me and my parents took me and my brothers, and my dad had a trailer, and we walked around the neighborhood, and we just helped clean up debris, and we just always had a socially conscious attitude. You know what I mean? It's not about us. It's about what can we use, because we're lucky and blessed that we had. And we weren't like by any means like rich or anything like that, but we're still lucky and appreciative of where we were and how can we help others, you know what I mean? And I truly find fulfillment in helping others reach their goals, because like I'm happy reaching mine, but true fulfillment for me is helping others reach theirs. Like I feel like I'm the most happy when I can like be a big brother or be a mentor or something and help someone, you know, change the way they think, so that way they can change the direction of their family lineage.
And you're doing that. We're going to talk about the philanthropy work in a minute, but you literally are doing that. And what I love is you don't have to be raised in a wealthy household. You know, you just have to have an emotional foundation, a strong sort of mental health network, somebody there to help you through the highs and the lows. You obviously have a talented family. Your older brother played as well. Like, were you guys like roughhousing all day growing up? Was your mom like, stop, don't break anything?
My parents were most excited that their grocery bill went from $500 a week to, you know, whatever it is now. But we had
because you're 3 boys?
3 boys, a sister, and really a 4th boy.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had a really close, he's like a brother, really close family friend, and he was at the house all the time too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was always a lot of energy going around, a lot of competitiveness, but it was healthy.
It's awesome. I love the pictures of you and your brothers. But, you know, that culture, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, obviously, the fan base of the Kansas City Chiefs has swelled this year, right? There's a lot more people engaged.
Yeah, we're international.
You got a lot of young girls who
Appreciate
are now...
you, Taylor Swift.
I would... Can we have a moment? Can we have a moment? Okay, because my husband is shedding tears of joy because he's crazy about football. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, we have like family rules around Super Bowl games and game, like no one's allowed to talk, walk, breathe, eat, drive, whatever.
Yeah.
And now my 3 daughters
Yeah.
are crazy about football. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
we
It's opened up the doors to the game to so many more, and made it interesting and fun.
But it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Isn't it phenomenal to watch this unfold in front of your eyes and have all these people now come and say, gosh, you guys are, we've always known talented stars, athletes, geniuses, you're playing chess in real life on the field, but is it neat to see like these young girls screaming for you too?
No, 100%, 100%, because it truly brings families together. You know, some guys that have daughters that are football players, like my daughters have never been more interested in, watching me play or trying to understand the rules of the game. So it's just so fun to see it bring families literally closer together, help fathers and daughters interact more, help more women just get involved into the game. It's just awesome. And for all of you out there too, let it be known that friendship bracelets can help you win the girl of your dreams. So
Oh yeah!
make sure you mark that down.
I mean, the effect of all of this is special, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, from the friendship bracelets to the whole sort of the infusion of Taylor Swift into football and sort of the fun of watching it, it must be really, really special for you too.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I can't even
It's
imagine.
It's better than TV. Who needs TV?
I mean, you're
You
living
get to
in
live
real
it.
life, though.
Yeah.
You're living in real life. And when you guys win the Super Bowl, by the way, it's 2 times now, I'm texting Tamara, and I'm like, I'm so happy for you. This couldn't be happening to a nicer person. But I also love that you're part of this history. Mm-hmm. It's so neat. And I love that all of these young girls are now able to add Justin Reid as one of their role models because of the depth. Again, you're a philosopher, you're a mentor, you're an example. There is so much depth to what you're offering. And I think that's so cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You started a philanthropy. Mm-hmm. You talk about like you looking at the next generation and seeing a gap. Mm-hmm. Talk about it. You specifically talked about technology and STEM, and you started J. Reid Indeed. Why?
Yeah.
And what are the 3 pillars?
You know what? It's accumulation of my life experiences and what I've seen. So, grew up in Louisiana. Didn't exactly have a frontier in the educational system, but went to a decent school. We knew nothing in coding, or like we didn't do coding or anything in depth on the computer science side. But ended up going to Stanford, right? And that was a whole new world.
I can't even.
Whole new world, culture shock.
California?
You go from Ascension Parish to Silicon Valley in California, where they got robots talking to you and following you around and things. It's a whole new environment, right? So that took some adjustment getting used to, but there's also some growth that comes from putting yourself in a different environment that you're not used to and making something uncomfortable become comfortable. I think there's a lot of healthy growth that comes from that. Then you end up coming back to Houston, and I got to work with some awesome organizations here. 2 of the ones that were my favorites to work with was Candlelighters and then Kids Meals.
You were ambassadors for both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, but working with both of them, you end up seeing that there's really a hierarchy of needs that need to be addressed first before you can start trying to teach kids. Like, I'm big on STEM, but I understand that STEM will come second to a meal. Like if a kid is still, it doesn't have the needs of shelter, of security, of safety, of food for them or their siblings, you can't convince a kid to pay attention to trying to do algebra or trying to learn how to code or anything like that. But we addressed that with the nutrition pillar of J. Reid Indeed because there's a need that needs to be fulfilled there. But once kids have that bottom hierarchy of needs, that's when you can actually start trying to take them under your wing and mentor them and just, show them a path. Because if you can see it, you can believe it. If you put them in an environment to where they just feel like, hey, you know what? I can actually do this. It's not too far away. I see someone who looks like me doing it. It makes it real to them. And when you have hope and you have a vision and you feel like you have a path that you can get there.
So important.
It changes the way you go about your life. It changes,
so
what I
true.
mean? You start having foresight, like, the short-term problem, this emotional reaction isn't worth it for what I want to do with my life. So I'm going to think big picture instead of being reactive in the moment. And that comes from having a vision and having dreams and hopes, you know what I mean? And so many kids just aren't in the situation to have that. The as much as it is about teaching STEM, it's about just encouraging kids to have a vision and have hope, and just help them see that, hey, even if STEM isn't your thing, trying new things, like you can do, it's a mentality change. Like we want to get to a kid's mind and change the way that they think and see the world and what they think that they're capable of.
This is so important, and it's so important coming from you, right? Because a bunch of moms, we can go around and say whatever we want, but Justin Reid walks in with who you are, and you tell a little kid, look, you can have hope, we can give you vision, we can help you shape your vision and help you see the path. That's life changing. And I watched you speak to, it was a younger group, but I love that you started by saying, no, I want to hear about you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's so great. How many people are helping you push this vision forward? Is it just you?
Yeah, it's absolutely not me. I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. I've all along, one of the things my parents helped me stay grounded with and help me be appreciative of is to realize that, none of us got to where we are on our own. Yeah. You know what I mean? It takes a village, and that is the most truthful thing ever. Like, it takes people doing things for you that you don't even know that they've done it for you, because they're not asking for credit, but they're just doing it for the good of people. So I have an incredible team around me. I have incredible mentors. I have incredible people that offer resources pro bono.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what I mean? And we try and utilize that, and we try and take those and just pass them through, just be a tunnel to pass it through to the people that can actually use them and be of assistance there. And there's no ego. There's no ego. We just want to help.
Do your parents offer parenting classes?
Yeah.
Like your parents, let's talk about that for a moment. Your parents seem like exceptional parents.
Yeah, they did a great job. I'm really lucky and fortunate that, they gave me such a strong foundation and taught me to stand up for what I believe in and not feel like I need to minimize my personality, but to let my personality show.
Okay, so that leads me into the next thing. Being in the public light, and we are somewhat in the public light, you get a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
I've seen you clap back.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, because I'm all for it. We're always told, keep your mouth shut, keep going, keep your mouth shut, keep going. And I disagree. I think sometimes you have to clap back. So what is your philosophy there? Do you clap back and then go, I shouldn't have done it? Or are you like, no,
No, I'll say this, I believe too that you should say something, because some of it is just about not being walked on or stepped over, and you have to protect your own ego and your own self-worth sometimes too. So you just can't allow someone to just beat you down into the ground daily, to where eventually that's going to start affecting the way you feel about yourself. So I do feel like you need to protect yourself a little bit in that way, and you can clap back, but just know that what you're going to say is up there forever. So don't say anything that you're going to regret. Like everything that I tap back, I'll never delete it, because I don't ever feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, this is actually how I feel. I know that, 6 months later, I'm going to feel the same way, and I'm still going to stand by it. So if I know I feel that way about the post, then I don't have a problem posting it.
And it's not emotional for you.
No.
You're protecting it, but you're being strategic.
But it's still, it's still strategic. It's not a rapid emotional response where I'm typing without thinking, and then the next day it's like, I shouldn't have said that,
It's amazing, because I'm fascinated by it, and I've looked at some of those posts, and they've made headlines.
Yeah.
They made headlines because it's so artful, and honestly, I think it's a lesson for the rest of us, because these trolls are they're destructive.
Yeah.
And they don't stop.
Mm-hmm. And some people, and whoever they are, some of them find enjoyment in just trying to tear down others.
Yeah.
And hopefully they find out whatever it is inside of them that's making them feel that way, that they feel that they have to drag down others, because there's something that's there too, so hopefully they find a solution to that. But
and I think it must be so fun for them when they're like, oh my God, Justin Reid responded to me. That's so cool. So we find you so fascinating. You were loved in Houston. Now Kansas City has you, and you're loved in Kansas City. And you're just a phenomenal player, a special player, a talented player with, an engineer and so much to fall back on. But you have a heart for public safety. And that's how we met you initially. You know, there was a tragic road rage incident, and a man, Anthony Hip, in his 20s, was shot and killed Christmas Eve running errands with his fiancée who was pregnant. And we ended up partnering with you, and you went to Dick's Sporting Goods and got all this fun stuff for Anthony's young son. What's drawn you to sort of be vocal about public safety to begin with? And then we can't not mention the fact that you just celebrated the Super Bowl victory in Kansas City, and as you guys were walking inside.
As you're coming down off the stage.
Oh, so you were outside still?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys had already been inside.
No, they were ushering us inside. Yeah.
So you heard all the guns?
They said there was a situation, but I didn't know what a situation. I thought it was a fight.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So gunfire broke out. 3 people were apprehended, 1 killed and 21 injured, including 8 children, on that fateful Wednesday. I mean, a mess. A mess. So you've spoken about real solutions and just we have to do something about the crime problem, and we have the next generation to think of. So what do we do?
Yeah, it's just, again, it's a mindset thing. And unfortunately, like, violence is being glorified, you know what I mean? And kids, for some reason, feels the need that, you know what, I have to defend. There's a difference between, like, a clapback on Twitter and crossing the line to an extent that is like, you know, I'm actually going to physically harm somebody in whatever way and shape that looks like. There's a massive difference between that. And, you know, for some reason, it's just I mean, across age groups, honestly, like, it's just become like the thing to do. Like, hey, you know what? I'm struggling with some feelings. Maybe my feelings were hurt. I'm angry or whatever. And I'm going to resort to a level of violence that you can't ever, you know, press rewind or go back and fix, you know. So there's a major issue right there, and there needs to be a shift in culture, in acceptability, in glorification of violence like that, and to think that that's the way to handle your problems, because we need to help equip people to have outlets that they don't resort to that type of stuff, because it's just sad to see, and the people who pay the price are innocent bystanders. I know. You know what I mean? It hardly ever is even the person who caused the infliction. It's innocent people that want to just go out and be outside and enjoy a moment together as a family, like at the parade, or just running simple errands with a family member. And then, you know, it's just life-changing, and it's a sad situation for everybody, whoever is involved or ever hears the story. So I think that it does need to be addressed. I think that there needs to be a change of some sort, and we need leaders and advocates in the community to step up and make a difference and demand it.
Well, and that's why, again, your voice is so important. And, you know, we do that every day. Crime Stoppers, we're constantly talking about, you know, public safety, what the issues are, what we can do. And you know what? We can do it in a really kind way, too. We can say, here's the problem. Well, let's research solutions. We can come up together and help. And it doesn't have to be there doesn't have to be so much friction. But the power, you know, we've launched this podcast so people like you can come lend your voice to these issues. And to have guests like you and some of our other favorites, Matthew McConaughey, and so many others say, look, we've got to be working towards solutions together. That's very powerful. When he goes and speaks on behalf of Uvalde, you go and speak on behalf of just the need for real solutions when it comes to violence, or, you know, Justin, I know you're never going to stop, and we thank you for that, because that voice is actually moving the needle. I wonder, when you're in a situation like that and you go back inside, like, do you ever think, like, it's scary to be in the public light now with such a rise in violence and animosity? And
yeah, you know what? Yes and no, because I feel like, you know, I'm happy as being amongst the people. You know what I mean? So I like to just go out and be a regular guy. So I, you know, still like going to events. You know, Mardi Gras I'm going to go out, and I don't try and go to any place special. I just go with my family to the spot we always go to. But it does change, like Memorial Weekend. I used to go out and watch the fireworks. I don't really watch fireworks on Memorial anymore, because summertime and heat and stuff. So it does change some things, but I try not to I try and still have a positive outlook on, like, I don't want to live my life in fear of something going wrong, you know? So I'd rather still just go out and live it, and, you know, and be positive and put out good energy, and hopefully that energy is reciprocated.
But can you just go to the grocery store?
It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean, like, what does that look like?
It's kind of hard. You know, Instacart has been great.
Yeah, as your Instacart driver, like, here are your groceries. Like, you can't just do that stuff anymore, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I still do. I do have to prepare myself because I know I'm going to take a couple pictures.
Is that fun or is it daunting? Or it depends on your mood, probably.
You know what? It's not. It's just, at a certain point, it just becomes normal.
That's so cool.
You know, so it's like, yeah, it's not anything like I love giving people a good experience.
Yeah.
So I know how much that picture will mean to them and probably make their day. So I don't mind it in that sense. If I'm having dinner or something, you know, respectfully, if you could wait until after I'm done eating, you know, I'll be happy to help you out. But, you know, yeah.
I mean, because it's a once in a lifetime moment for a fan, right? I mean, it's amazing. Justin, you're so spectacular. You have so much going on. What's next for you? Are you going to Tokyo?
Yeah, Tokyo. Tokyo's coming up in May. First time in Tokyo. I'm really excited about that, actually.
Okay.
Kind of want to get a Komodo. Kind of want to do the Mario Kart through the streets.
Are you doing all of that? You're going to do all of it?
If we have time to do it, we're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
Yeah. And really excited too about upcoming and newly flourishing partnership with Microsoft and how that's going to help us with Reid Indeed.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they've been wonderful. We actually just flew in from Atlanta to have a meeting with them about some applications and infrastructure and software to help us set the foundation of the Reid Indeed Foundation so that it can grow and scale and come up with a signature curriculum that we can go out and teach in the computer science space. So,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Justin Reid, changing the world. It's amazing. Your parents have done a phenomenal job. You are a phenomenal person. I'm very fascinated by your statements, what you've said, and I encourage people to go back and just listen to sort of the life philosophies of Justin Reid. In terms of pictures, our entire office is waiting outside to take a picture, including our law enforcement, is waiting outside to take a picture with this fabulous person. You've done so much for Crime Stoppers of Houston. You've done so much for so many other nonprofits. You're certainly a man of character and a man of your word, and we wish you the best, and we thank you so much for spending time with us. And my daughters are going to pass out that I've been sitting with you today.
Yeah.
You're a whole new fan base.
I love it.
Thank you, Justin, for being
Absolutely.
with us.
Appreciate you so much.
And for everybody else, catch us next time on the Balanced Voice podcast. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Balanced Conversation. You can find real solutions and tangible resources in our show notes at thebalancedvoicepodcast.com. To join the conversation, follow us on Instagram at The Balanced Voice Podcast and on Twitter at @BalancedVoice_. Stay up to date on Runya's work by following her at The Runya Report, and we can't wait to see you next week for another Balanced Conversation.